The Leave Your Legacy podcast is brought to you by Covenant Workplace Solutions. Covenant is a full-service workplace mental health and wellness partner, helping organizations across the country strengthen the lives of their employees and the families they go home to every day. Your employee assistance program should raise the bar, not simply check the box. And Storyline Multimedia. Storyline is an Iowa City-based media company that creates high-quality video, photo, and audio for local businesses. They produce a number of great podcasts, including this one. If you're interested in sharing your story, please contact them at storylinemultimedia.com. And remember, your story matters. Hello and welcome to the Leave Your Legacy Show. I'm your host, Kenyon Murray, and today another solo podcast. And I think this is a podcast that is very, very important. As a life coach and keynote speaker, one of the things that I'm asked to speak on a lot is personal growth. Now, personal growth can mean a lot of different things, but the thing I want to focus on today is the power of peers. Now, I say that because my personal growth journey started, about 7 years ago. So many of you that know my story know that in 2018, I received a text message from my wife that said our marriage was over. And this was not only jarring, it had me realize that I had to make some major changes. And one of the first things I had to do was look in the mirror and decide whether or not I was going to do the things that I needed to do in order to, 1, save my marriage, 2, save my family, and 3, become the best version of myself moving forward. And one of the things that helped me so much was the fact that I had a peer group of men that I could lean on. And now peer groups do a lot of different things, right? I think when you think about it, peers, usually you hear like peer pressure and things like that. You think about people your same age. But I think when it comes to adult men, being able to connect with other men in a way that you can be vulnerable, in a way that you don't feel like you're going to be judged, in a way that actually can hold you accountable to so many things, I think is very positive. And it's one of the biggest things that has allowed me to become this version of myself. And it's one of the things that continues to allow me to be a better version of myself moving forward. Now, there's a few key points I want to hit on when it comes to the advantage of a peer group. For men, I think one of the most important things is that the emotional support you can get from a peer group of men. Now, I've been to a number of retreats specifically for men, and one of the most impactful retreats happened about 2 years ago in Colorado, and it was called the Change Agents. Now, I was invited there by a very good friend of mine, Jordan Montgomery, and what it was about 50 men that were brought to this pretty much dude ranch in the mountains of Colorado, and it was people from all backgrounds, people with different professions and things like that, but there was about 50 of us there, and one of the things that happened really, really early was a space was made. A safe space was made. And we were able to talk about our ups, our downs, our fears, our vision, our goals, all these kind of things. But one of the things that really changed was when this group of men put their arms around you, you knew that you were in a space that was safe. And men, we long for those. We long to be able to talk about our feelings. I think too often masculinity it's given this connotation, the biggest, the baddest, the strongest, the person that sleeps with the most women, like that's the most masculine. Well, the thing is, we have emotions because we're supposed to have emotions. But I think a lot of us feel like because of the way we're raised, because of the way men are depicted, whether it's on the screen, in books, on television, whatever it is, anyone that shows their feelings or talks about their feelings is weak. And I think that is one of the things that makes us the strongest. To be able to share yourself, to be able to be vulnerable, those are the things that allow us to get through this thing called life. Because too often we take these emotions and we bury them. And when we bury things, the only thing that can happen is that we put ourselves in a situation of running. When you don't deal with your issues and you continue to bury them, you don't attack them. You don't look at the root reason why these things happen. You don't look at the reason why you have these feelings. And sometimes it comes from your past. 9 times out of 10, it comes from your past. We all have trauma. We all have scars. But I think too often men bury these, and then it creates other problems that manifest themselves in other ways. So I truly believe that having a peer group that you can really, really connect with is one way that you can share your emotions and get the support from other men that have probably been through a lot of the same things that you're going through. Now, the second thing that I really think peer groups do is they help with personal growth and development. Now, in these peer groups, I can tell you from my experience, to be able to go to a group and learn from someone that may have been in the speaking business or the podcast business or whatever it is for years and has more experience than me, to be able to go to someone and get that kind of knowledge, that's one of those things that really can add to the personal growth that you're seeking. Most times, people have gone through the same thing. So I think when you have a group of men that you can connect with that are maybe have similar goals, similar family life, those kind of things, being able to connect with people that are maybe aspiring for the same things you are, and then to be able to bounce ideas off of someone and then have somebody help you create a path for your own personal growth, that's so impactful. And that's one of the things that I definitely feel that when you have a group of male peers that you can connect with, like that's what I really think, like you unlock yourself in so many ways. You see things in a different perspective, and then you get a true self-evaluation, okay? Because one of the things that you have to do when it comes to personal growth is you have to look in the mirror, understand that where you are is not where you want to be, and then put a plan in place to go where you want to go. And a lot of times that comes from other people that have similar journeys as you. So when it comes to personal growth and development, I think having a great group of men around you, it's one of the most important things you can do when it comes to your own personal growth. Third thing, now this is going to be a little machismo, right? So I think one of the things that a great male peer group can do is it can actually help you become healthier. I do have a personal trainer. I work out a couple times a week with him. But how I found this guy was really interesting. So one of the first groups that I connected with, I guess it was about a month or so after my wife sent me that text. One of the first groups I connected with was a Bible study group. We had changed churches, and I knew one of the things that I had to do was grow in my faith. And so through one of the churches here in Cedar Rapids, I was able to connect with a Bible study group. That was crazy. They met on Friday mornings at 6:15 at Scooters. And this was before the pandemic, obviously. So I walk in and obviously I don't know anybody. But one of the things that I would gain was so much knowledge and perspective when it came to my own faith journey. You had these men that some had just come to Christ. Others had been on their journey for a long time. But there was just a connectiveness when it came to that. And I think for my own faith journey, what was great was that we had men of different backgrounds in this group. So you had some Catholic, some Protestant, you had some non-denominational, which was all great. You got different perspectives. And one of the things that we did was we took a Bible passage, we read it, and we had to go down different questions and ask those questions. Now, when you're with someone and you're playing with them all these months, so you get a kinship, you become closer. And actually, I found my personal trainer through one of our members named Tom. And so Tom kind of put me on to this guy. His name's Matt Carr. He owns Flow State Fitness. And because Tom had hooked me into him, it just got my health and those kind of things jump-started. And now we can compare, different things, our workouts and all that kind of stuff. But even in that, it was an accountability thing because Tom would work out at like 6 a.m. I'm like, man, that's crazy. But then I would come right after him because one of the things Tom said was like going in that early in the morning, like really just gave him so much energy for the rest of the day. And so being able to connect with someone when it came to my health on that was amazing. And so those are the things that can happen too. Men push each other. Men can hold you accountable. Sometimes they partner up and work out together. So there's a lot of different things that can come from a male peer group, and your health and welfare is one of those things. Now, one of the last things I want to touch on when it comes to, I believe, the power and benefit of a peer group is your mental wellness. Now, we've talked about emotion. We've talked about support on those emotions. We've talked about personal growth and development. But I think one of the things that men don't talk about is mental wellness. Now, I don't know the exact stat, but I do know that suicide is highest amongst white males ages 45 to 55. That's scary. And it's not because of heart attacks and those kind of things. It's because of that mental strain. Why? Why are these men who are arguably in the prime of their lives, why are they taking their own life? It's mental health, mental wellness, finding balance, finding purpose. All these things can become part of a cycle where you don't feel good about yourself. You start thinking, am I worthy? Am I worth this? Do I deserve the things that I have? Do I deserve the wife I have, the family I have? And sometimes we have to have people that look like us, same gender, those kind of things, for us to be able to open up and talk about this stuff. Because I guarantee you, you're not the only person that's feeling the way you feel. And that's one of the biggest things that I feel has benefited me all these years on this journey to be here, to be talking about this. Is just the fact that I have been able to connect with so many men that pour into me every day. Spiritually, they pour into me. Mentally, they pour into me. Emotionally, they pour into me. They support me. And sometimes all you need is to support. Sometimes all you need is somebody to put their arm around you and say, it's okay. Sometimes all you need is someone to say, I believe in you and you can do it. And so that's why I feel that having a peer group as a man is so important. Now I'm gonna leave you with a little stat. And I'm saying this because this is maybe a little bit different way that men and women look at their marriage. Now, 30% of women will say that their husband is their best friend, while 60% of men say that their wives are their best friend. So when you see a couple that's been together a long time and let's say the wife passes first, usually the men go pretty quick after that. And the only reason I'm bringing up this stat is because of this. Men, we need more friends. We need to have more friends out there. Our wives have friends to the end of the earth, can go and talk and all those kind of things. We need that too. So do it today. Find your peer group. And if you need a little help, give me a holler. Because I think as men, we live in a time where our vulnerability is the thing that not only is going to allow us to connect more with the people that we care about, but it also is going to be one of those things that may extend your life. So, Kenyon Murray from the Leave Your Legacy podcast, I want to leave you with this. The power of peer groups is real. Go out and get one. And until next time, let's keep connecting.